Ladies and gentlemen, we are live tonight for another edition of NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005, race number 2 of 10 in the race for the NASCAR Chase for the Cup. It's the MBNA America 400 at the Dover International Raceway, and we are set for action for 400 miles around the concrete mile that is the Monster Mile here tonight. This should be a pretty fun race, hopefully starting from the back. Really no practice or qualifying going into this race. We've got to make sure. Yeah, I mean, the setup should be good to go from where we were at, from when we were at Dover last time, but I have not played this game in over a month, so we're going to hope for the best in this race. As usual, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We'll get back to NASCAR 21 Ignition very, very soon. In fact, tomorrow night we'll have another NASCAR 21 Ignition live stream, which will end up taking place at Talladega for the Geico 500. But as far as this one goes, this is where we're at. Welcome to the stream, Drake Wyman. I'm so excited because tomorrow I'm going to be Chinese. Welcome to the stream as well. Classic NASCAR video game. We know we're not going to get through with any glitches in this game here tonight. And here we go. Green flag is in the air. We're underway at Dover. 3 wide up the start for Jimmie Johnson. Going to back out of the gas and let these guys go. On the outside of him, already contact into the first turn with Greg Quick, who knocked up into Kyle Petty. And Quick gets into the wall a little bit. Down the backstretch. Oh my goodness, I'm struggling. I should have practiced before this race. I forgot how hard it is to keep a car steady down the straightaways. Hang on, I need to pause it for a quick second. I need to figure out how to change this camera angle because I can't remember. Let's see here. Change view is circle. Turn myself off in my ear also. Sorry for that abrupt start. I should have practiced before this race started. Oh, we were in the far chase cam. Never mind. It seems oddly close. I've been so used to current NASCAR games. Definitely going to have to be very patient in the early going of this race. Jeff Gordon does lead. Jimmie Johnson comes into this race leading the point standings as well, following a win at New Hampshire in the opening race of the chase. Austin Higgins, welcome to the stream as well. Johnson to the inside of his teammate Terry Labonte. Really trying to find some stability in this race car in the early going. He is very, very much struggling for grip right now. Really have to go back to trying to finesse the race car. Underneath the 43 of Jeff Green off the exit of turn 4. Green crowds Johnson. Johnson clears him down the straightaway. Up the track goes Jimmy. Nolani McKinney with a little bit of contact in the middle of turns 1 and 2. McKinney, one of the generated drivers. And we got one blowing up on the inside of the racetrack trying to get to pit road. He is down there, and that will be the 30, rookie Johnny Sauter. One car on the wall, and there's a crash on the front stretch. Big stack up and a crash. Johnson's all the way down to the infield, and he turns. Mike Murphy in the 199 getting his way back up onto the racetrack. That all started off turn 4 when a couple cars got into the outside wall, stacking everybody up. Johnson drove it in way too deep into one, trying to pass as many cars as possible in the stack up. He catches Murphy, and we have our first caution of the night. Just about 6 laps into this one. A wild start at the Monster Mile at Dover. Gordon still in the lead. Johnson going to stay out of the pits. I'm sure everybody else will as well. We'll get set for a single file restart. It's definitely not ideal in the early going of this race. Green flag back in the air. Murphy does get to hold his position in front of the 48 of Johnson, who kind of spins the tires on the restart. Rushes the wall off turn 2. First time he's gotten into the wall in the straightaway in this one, but he's going to have to take care of his car. lack of practice, it's going to be very, very difficult. Starting at the back with no qualifying for himself as well is definitely not an ideal situation when you come in as a points leader with 9 races to go. Going to be the toughest race in a while for Johnson to try and accomplish a victory here tonight. Tony Stewart won the first Dover race earlier this season. Johnson came in a very close second place. Was battling in the closing laps with Stewart. Lap traffic had held Jimmy Johnson up enough for Stewart to close in on him and make the pass with a few laps to go. So maybe going to have to look out for Tony Stewart in this race as well, see how he runs. 151, a little loose, getting into turn 1. Johnson drives underneath him. He's still trying to catch his car, and Johnson will pull clear off turn 2. Tony Stewart in the 20s actually behind Johnson. This car is not stable at all down the straightaways. Seems very, very light, not really glued to the track that much. We were caution-free in that first chase race at New Hampshire as well. Part of 4 caution-free races we've had so far this season, 2 of them at New Hampshire. Jeff Burton almost shut the door on Jimmy Johnson getting into turn 1. Johnson slips by for 25th. Burton dropped back another spot. He did not qualify for the playoffs. Big loose moment into turn 3 for Johnson. And these ill-handling conditions are only going to get worse and worse until he can find either clean air or fresh tires. 3 wide further up the way in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Hopefully they make it off the exit of the corner. They do. Seen some big crashes at Dover in the past. Bunched up after a restart a couple laps ago. Definitely make things difficult as well. One stack up led to a single car crash getting down into turn 1, which brought out that first caution of the race. Johnson trying to find his way around rookie Paul Menard. He does get to the inside off turn 2. Menard trying to side draft. Johnson goes low down the straightaway. He'll pull clear and slide up the track in the middle of 1 and 2. Tony Stewart now to the inside of the 48, trying to make a run. Big corner exit there for Johnson. He takes it 3 wide to the bottom and passes a couple of those generated drivers before making his way down on the other end of the racetrack into turns 1 and 2. Oh, almost some trouble again. Big checkup. Casey Kane may have brushed the wall off turn 2. He definitely made contact with the 42 of Jamie McMurray. Johnson into jam on the brakes midway down the backstretch, as well as the 0 of Ward Burton. Action-packed start to this one. And Jeff Gordon's led all 20 laps up to this point. And it seems to be at least on the track map on the upper right-hand corner of the screen pulling away. Next race in the chase at Talladega for a 500-miler for the EA Sports 500. It'll be the final restrictor plate race of the season, and it is going to be wild considering it is early enough in the chase that, again, the points are still fairly stacked together. Remember, of the 10 chase drivers, they all finished in the top 12 at New Hampshire. So it is still very closely competitive. So we know Murphy being involved in that accident, still in the race. Luckily, everybody missed him to the inside after his spin into turn 1. The only driver out of the race is a non-chaser. Kane tries to cross over Jamie McMurray. It's on his inside, getting into 1 and 2. Casey's making headway on the bottom. He gets underneath Bobby Labonte now. Johnson clears McMurray. Clears Labonte in the middle of 3 and 4. Labonte, one of the chase drivers. Casey Kane as well, the only rookie in the chase. He's got a donut on the left side of his car. I think that was from McMurray. 3 wide almost. That was very dangerous. If Scott Riggs would have closed the door a little sooner, probably wouldn't have been as narrow of a corner entry for the 48 of Johnson, but he wanted to make sure that Casey Kane wasn't going to get there. Now Jimmy slides up the track of corner entry. Great job keeping it off the wall. Riggs to his inside, trying to make a pass. Johnson with a wide exit to the corner. Almost gets into the wall. It's a great cut. Now Riggs is in the wall. Scott Riggs, another rookie, in the outside wall into turn 1. Casey Kane will get by. .141 drops back another spot. And Johnson's already up inside the top 15 to 14th place on lap 26. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Yep, definitely on a great NASCAR game. Again, one that will not throw any game crashes. Hopefully not any major glitches. We never really had any glitches with this game in the past. So expecting some good racing here tonight. So far, it has been just that. Don't know who made contact up there. Saw some sparks flying. Battle in the back half of the top 10. A lot of 2x2 racing that Rusty Wallace and Jimmy Johnson are coming up on. Johnson again up the track in turn 3. He's kind of struggling with entry into that corner. Kurt Busch gets underneath him, but not going to be able to stay there. To side draft off the exit of turn 4. Johnson will pull clear down that front straightaway. We'll bump to the back of the 2 of Wallace. Wallace stayed steady, though, and drives to the inside of Jarrett in the 88. Really stacked Johnson up, though. Gone 77. That third Penske entry. Dropping back another spot, 2 spots. In fact, that corner, Jarrett got by him as well as Jimmy Johnson. Ken's with a big block into turn 1. Jimmy looking 3 wide off turn 4. Instead, just kind of hops in line behind the 17. Gonna be patient. Trying to stay out of trouble early. He overdrives the corner a bit there and had to lift. Stays in front of Kurt Busch, though. Didn't allow Kurt to get underneath him. Kurt's been all over the back bumper of the 48 after Johnson had passed him a couple laps ago. Big run off the exit of turn 4. Jimmy to the inside of Kenseth. Clears him. A couple of DEI cars as well. Michael Waltrip and Dale Jr. battling inside the top 10. Elliott Sadler going to get by. He's had a lot of blown engines through the latter portion of the season. Was it like 9 blown engines in the last 13 races? Isn't that the stat for Elliott Sadler coming into this race? Somebody's going to have to correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a little over a month since the last race on the channel in this season. But that is what kept him out of the chase. He was 7th or 8th at points there for a long time. All those DNFs came back to bite him, though. Sadler stuck on the outside. Dale Jr. gets by. Kevin Harvick looking to get by. Jimmy Johnson looking to get by. 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. Down the backstretch. Into the corner. Johnson clips the 29 of Harvick. Both cars go into the wall. Somehow Elliott Sadler gets by. Johnson really cut off the 17 of Matt Kenseth there as well. That was not pretty. Very lucky that wasn't a caution. That was a pretty decent size hit for both Harvick and Johnson into the outside wall. I don't know how with Sadler being up there at 3 wide. He must have not been 3 wide on corner entry, which is why he was able to get to the bottom and steer clear of anybody with ill contact. I think if they would have been 3 wide on corner entry like it looked like they were about to be, that definitely would have been caution number 2. Jimmy going to go back to being maybe a little bit more patient now. Knowing that he almost wrecked the race car a second time. Well, right as I say that, gets to the inside of Sadler. Got really loose after a bit more contact, but he does make the pass. He'll bump and run on the short track at Dover. Ricky Rudd inside the top 10 right now. Maybe not for much longer. Johnson gets around him. Another rookie up towards the front of the field. That's Brian Vickers. Trying to hang on. He's stuck on the outside. Waltrip underneath him. Now his teammate Jimmy Johnson's underneath him. Ricky Rudd going to try to follow. He's not going to be able to. Vickers holds on to ninth place. Contact 3 wide off the exit of turn 4. A DEI sandwich on the 97 of Kurt Busch. Verdale Jr. had popped the outside wall off turn 4. Oh, and now Vickers is in the wall off turn 2. Ricky Rudd to his inside. He didn't make contact with the 21, luckily. Everybody's all over the place in the early going of this one. For Express, welcome to the stream. Oh my goodness. Rudd's going to pass Johnson on the outside after Jimmy lost the momentum, getting loose over driving 3 and 4. Quite a big slide from the 48. And Rudd's going to get to the inside of Waltrip, it looks like. See if he gets there off the exit of the corner. Waltrip with a bit of a block down the front straightaway, trying to hold on in front of Rudd. Rudd and Waltrip side by side off turn 4. Jimmy going to try to stay tucked right behind the 21. Oh, no, he gets into Waltrip, and Waltrip gets into the wall in turns 1 and 2. Bit of a wiggle there from Johnson, costing Mikey in the 15. Johnson gets into the wall off 4, got back in the gas too soon. Underneath Wallace. Trying to squeeze in line between Wallace and Rudd, and barely did. Good run for Johnson off the exit of turn 2. Drives underneath Jarrett. Oh boy, almost overdrove the car. Dangerous spot there. Now he's underneath Rudd. Now he's starting to pick him off one by one. Big run on the inside for Johnson. Look at Kurt Busch get loose into turn 1. You really see the rear of that car want to step out to the side. Busch trying to hang on in front of Johnson for position. Kurt up to 3rd. He was behind Jimmy there for a little bit. Jimmy got around him once for about 8th place. Johnson will now pass Kurt Busch for 3rd. Top 2 who pulled away a little bit may get ran down by the 48 of Johnson, who's starting to pick off cars one by one. He's in a race high 3rd position at lap 46. Good longer run car, it seems like, for the 48. Ryan Newman in 2nd place. The Rocket Man right behind 4-time champ Jeff Gordon. Gordon's led every lap still. Remember, bonus points are awarded to the drivers who lead either a lap or the most laps. You lead the most laps, you get 10 bonus points, 5 bonus points for leading a lap. And Jeff Gordon trying to lead all the laps he can in the early going of this race while he's got the track position and the clean air. And Newman obviously maybe getting held up, and he might have taken too much time being too patient because Jimmy Johnson's there. Patrick Shadley, welcome to the stream. Johnson underneath Ryan Newman. Newman pinching Jimmy Johnson. Can only pinch him so much. Johnson up to second. Hendrick Motorsports now runs 1-2 at the front of the field. Jimmy slaps the wall into one. Not a good corner for him. Lucky Ryan Newman wasn't able to get underneath. I'm surprised Newman wasn't able to get there. I thought after that mistake that he's going to have a pretty good chance of doing so. Johnson's slowly getting a little more comfortable with the car, and I'm sure next time he has fresh tires, after our first pit stop of the race, things should reset pretty good for the 48. Kickstart my crew, welcome to the stream. This is on PS2. Yeah, this is on PS2. 10 people watching right now, still only 2 likes, so smash that like button, subscribe if you are new for more daily NASCAR content, as we got a pass for the lead off turn 2. Johnson is the leader as he clears Gordon. He's a little loose still. Gordon might cross him over. That was a big mistake by Johnson. He cleared him, but he just couldn't quite hold the throttle down and still was not able to lead a lap. So Gordon's led all 53 now that have been completed thus far. Gordon with a wide entry into the corner. A little bump from the 48. Johnson's there. Look how far off the wall Gordon's running. Car on the inside of the track. Blown engine. It's the 151. Johnson almost got squeezed into him by his teammate. Gordon leads another lap, but Jimmy Johnson is right there into turn 1. Gordon with a wide entry again. That time it's going to hurt him. Contact. Newman to the inside of Gordon. Gordon's in the wall off turn 2. Jeff Gordon gets into the wall off of the exit of turn 2. Johnson with a wide entry into 3, and here comes Newman. Johnson still has not led a lap, and now he's in the wall off the exit of turn 4. And Ryan Newman leads his first lap of the night. 5 bonus points for the Rocket Man. The 2002 rookies run 1-2 at Dover. Unless Jeff Gordon can help it. He's got his car down to the bottom. And Gordon's up to second, so Jimmy Johnson back to third place again. Lap traffic will be approached very, very shortly. So 2 cars out of the race with blown engines. We'll have to see who's going to navigate through this lap traffic better. You know, last time we were at Dover, Johnson did not get through the lap traffic very well. That's what cost him the win late. That was a great exit to turn 4, which gave him such a great drive into 1. And Newman hits the wall hard. Ryan Newman cracked the wall hard off the exit of turn 2. That stacked up Gordon, who had to get out of the gas before getting into him. Now Gordon gets to the inside of Newman. Johnson, 5 bonus points for leading that lap, his first of the night. It took him 59 laps to go from the rear to the lead, but he is there. And Gordon, who has already led over 50 laps today, is back up to second place. So 1-2 for Hendrick Motorsports. Restall Cup, welcome to the stream as well. Just hit halfway on fuel a few laps ago, so this should be a 3 pit stop race tonight. That was even with a caution already in this one. So 3 pit stops scheduled. We'll have to see, obviously, how the cautions fall if we have more. That first caution came back at lap 7. Haven't had one since, so obviously the longest green flag run in the first 25% of this race. Maybe it wasn't the best time to take a break on this season mode playthrough, but the release of NASCAR 21 Ignition and the popularity of the custom schedule season, wanted to make sure I got that done before we move back to this and the current NASCAR off season, for real life at least. So we are back at it again. And only 8 races left to decide a champion for this 2004 NASCAR season. Johnson trying to get his first. Jeff Gordon, who's second in points coming into this race, is charged back to the 48. Gordon showing why he led so many laps in the early going. Johnson's in the wall off the exit of turn 4. Trying to stay on the outside of the 24 car. He just can't really hold that over with these Gen 4 cars especially. Does hold on to second, but Gordon again back in the lead. There's a lot of lap traffic coming up. John, welcome to the stream. Jimmy to the inside of Gordon. He was going to try to drive it in a lot deeper, but the 45 of Petty lap car kind of cut off the 48. 12 of Newman right there on the inside of the 24 car. Lap traffic trying to stay wide. Johnson clips the apron a little bit. Newman trying to use the lap cars to get by the 24 for second place again. And it looks like he will. Newman's got a really fast car. I know he hasn't led a lot of laps, but I think he might be the faster of these three as he gets to the inside of Johnson. At the line, I think Johnson led that lap. He's going to get picked behind the 22. The rookie of Scott Wimmer is just trying to stay out of the way. That was a really big crossover job there for Johnson. He is running very low all the way down the backstretch into 3, and he ran out of real estate. Jesus Manuel Ortiz, welcome to the stream. Man, Mark Martin's at the back of the field right now. He's in danger of losing a lap. Newman not going to go extremely low, trying to block. Johnson gets really loose, though, into turn 1. Center of the corner of the car really slides up the track as well as these tires again getting a little bit older. Johnson to the bottom, 3 wide. It's going to be dangerous. Jimmy did not get a lot of room there. Barely keeps it off the 6. Newman pulled away. A couple car lengths down. Johnson gets into the side of Ricky Craven. Allowing Newman to pull away a little bit more. Ethan, welcome to the stream. NASCAR Ignition needs patch. Yes, it does. Hopefully that next patch comes out tomorrow night before our Geico 500 at Talladega live stream for the career mode. Sometime tomorrow during the day, though, we'll have another upload on NASCAR 21 Ignition. It'll be career mode at Richmond. Got a little wiggly off turn 4. Johnson with an easy pass down into 1 and 2. It's the lapper of Lonnie McKinney on the outside now. He's got some donuts left side of his car. Oh boy, that was a big moment. Johnson into the wall, and Gordon sideswipes him on the way through. Nowhere to go for the 24. Jimmy tried to get out of the way. Look at Craven split in the middle. That's not going to work for Gordon. Nope, no, it did not. Gordon got in the wall, and then Craven got into him. Jimmy's, man, he is really struggling right now. I have to start backing these corners up a little bit more again. Newman's got about just over a 2-second lead over the Hendrick duo of Gordon and Johnson. Oh, jeez. Jimmy cannot get the car to stick in turn 3. He was having a little bit of an issue with that earlier. It's only growing worse and worse. We're 75 laps old on these tires. Throw in about 3 caution laps in there as well, but that'd be about it there. Lap times have only really fallen off about 0.6 of a second, but the grip level's just not there, at least for the 48, and I would imagine most of the field is struggling right now. Seen some of these other drivers get loose on corner entry as well. Johnson going to try to regain focus. Quickly pulling away from Jeff Gordon. Second place. Only 1 lap car between the top 2. Newman's got a little bit of a space before the next lap car he catches. Then after that, he's got an even bigger space to the next lap car after that. So primarily quite a bit of clean air right now for the 12. Paul Menard in the 33, who's running right around Ryan Newman. Get hard for Menard down in the chat, everybody. I want to know who started that. Who started that save? Or if it just kind of was a natural thing. Johnson on the back bumper of Ryan Newman now. Newman took a little bit of time getting around the 33 of Menard. Jimmy going way up the track. Newman's just trying to mimic the line as much as possible. Great corner exit for Johnson. Drives it deep into turn 3. There's some heavy contact. Jimmy's just trying to keep it off the wall still. Newman holds on. I don't know how both drivers kept it off the wall. They keep racing like that. Jeff Gordon's going to close right back in it again. Sitting about 1.5 to 2 seconds behind these two. And Menard got by both of these guys again, so now he's in the way. Johnson's just going to follow Ryan Newman down into turn 1. Oh, no! Newman's in the wall hard. Jimmy Johnson gets into him. Pretty significant contact there. Johnson leads at Dover. There's the smoke from the aftermath after Newman got practically junked there. That was not what I intended on doing, and I kind of feel bad for that. Johnson's got about a 1.7 second lead, quarter tank of fuel left. Turchi just stated about a lap and a half ago that Johnny Sauter in the 30, who we saw blew an engine in the opening few laps of the race, is now going to try to work his way back out onto the racetrack. Not sure if he will actually do that or not. He's still in the pit lane currently. Sauter not in the chase. He is trying to race. Well, I guess he wouldn't have the Rookie of the Year either. Casey Kane would have the Rookie of the Year all locked up because he was the only rookie to even make it to the chase anyway. Casey Kane is the Rookie of the Year. I don't know what exactly Johnny Sauter would want to come back out in a chase race for. That is going to be a hazard. If he comes back onto this track running very, very slow and barely at minimum speed, PS2 games are the best. There's definitely a lot of my favorite video games are from the PS2 original Xbox era. This probably my favorite game of all time. A lot of my favorite sports games in general too. Madden 06, NCAA football, 2005. My favorite pro wrestling game of all time, SmackDown versus Raw 2007. I don't have that right now. I have 06 currently. Actually getting into one. He still kept the car on the bottom of the track, though. He makes his way by the 122. They are starting to run Johnson down a bit. About a 1.3, 1.2 second lead. And the lap car is going to try to cross Johnson over. Jimmy's in the wall off the exit of turn 4 after having to run the top. It's Austin Hamilton in the 122 car, and that was a big mistake for Johnson. He's right back to only 7/10 of a second ahead of, it looks like, Jeff Gordon, who's in second. Ooh. Hamilton just hit the wall. Turn 2, that might slow Gordon down a bit. Definitely keeps the pressure off the 48 for the time being. Almost to the century mark as far as the laps accounted for in the early going of the race at Dover. Boy, Johnson had a massive moment into turns 3 and 4. And we got cars pitting at lap 94. So some drivers short pitting right now. Gordon closed in a bunch over the last couple laps on Jimmy Johnson, especially that last lap again. Surprised they're all short pitting this early. Gordon looking low. And he's coming into the pit. So Jeff Gordon from second place going to short pit at lap 95. Johnson staying out for now in case we get a caution in the middle of this green flag run. Yeah, between that game, between No Mercy and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, that's arguably the best game for a lot of NASCAR video game people. I grew up with the SmackDown versus Raw series coming out on an annual basis when I was a kid growing up, so in 2007 was always my favorite. That was always, you know, even looking back on it from other people, it seems like that's like the best game from that series. I mean, how could you not love GM mode? My personal opinion, the greatest game mode ever in a pro wrestling video game. Johnson washed up into Wimmer. Cracked the wall. Jimmy's really trying to stay out on these older tires. He's got about an eighth of a tank of fuel left. He is struggling right now on 100-lap old tires at Dover. But he's staying out in case he catches a yellow. Not only most of the field is pitted. Not only most of the field is pitted, but that would mean that obviously most of the lap cars are pitted. Johnson's just going to let McMurray go. Doesn't want to get squeezed into the wall again. Not that it's the AI's fault. They don't really run him up the track. It's just hard to hold the exit of the corner on the high side of Dover. Johnson's had very minimal success with it. Brendan Gaughan going to get around him now. Gaughan slips a little bit getting into turn 1. So there's a way of telling who green flag pit stops a lot this season. And now some of the other leaders that have to make their stop will make it now. We did go green to the end of the race. Only with that one yellow. It's going to be hard for a lot of these guys to make it on just 2 more stops to the end with short pitting the way they did, unless you pitted a lot closer to that lap 100 mark or maybe even just beyond it like we saw some drivers doing. Johnson had a big moment off turn 2 again. Jimmy's going to take it to lap 110, and then he'll pit. That will be the plan for the 48. Go one more lap. Johnson's definitely lost a lot of time on these old tires. Gordon was all over his back bumper when he pitted from second. The lap after that, Ryan Newman pit. Johnson will pit this time by and make sure he doesn't speed. 70 miles per hour is the speed limit at every track in this game, and there it is. So 4 tires and fuel, no adjustments for the 48 this time. Just the 4 fresh tires. So next scheduled stop, if it stayed green, would be about lap 220 for Jimmy Johnson. Hopefully no mistakes with the 48 crew. They've had their fair share of mistakes periodically, at least throughout the course of the season on pit road. No major mistakes there. Back out onto the racetrack goes the 48 of Johnson. Oh boy, gotta keep it on the apron. Johnson gets up to speed. He's in 9th place. So again, he definitely lost a lot of ground. About 7 seconds behind Jeff Gordon. Gordon pit at lap 95. Newman pit at lap 96. They're probably 1-2, I'd have to imagine. Gordon, first of the leaders to pit. And he's in first place now as everybody has cycled out of the pit lane. Now Johnson's going to have about 15 lap fresh tires at Dover. That will make a difference on this concrete surface. Welcome back, Reese. Dale Jr., Elliott Sadler in front of Johnson for position. Jr. staying wide. Johnson gets by him easily. Wide to the bottom. That was an aggressive move by Johnson, but he made it work. Luckily, it was a lap car, a couple of them to the outside. Sadler was for positioning. That was a move for 7th. 3 cars for position up the way of Dale Jarrett, Matt Kenseth, and Kevin Harvick next. And that will move Johnson up to 4th. Have to imagine Kurt Busch is probably still in 3rd place. Or is in 3rd now. He was in 4th for most of the opening fuel run. Johnson quickly gets around Kenseth, gets underneath Kevin Harvick. All these guys giving Johnson a lot of room. I think they know he's on a little bit fresher tires. It'll be 20 to 30 laps before the tires even out. Johnson, that is why he is quickly trying to close into that 7-second deficit. And yep, Kurt Busch is the next car in front of Jarrett and Johnson. Johnson on the inside of Dale Jarrett. Off turn 4, clears him into 1. That's a little wide off the exit of turn 2. Oh my goodness. Thanks for hitting that like button, Reese, and definitely hit that like button again if you were watching. 10 watching currently. We've had up to 12, I believe, people watching this stream so far. Pretty good racing tonight at Dover for the MBNA America 400. Johnson to the inside of Kurt Busch for 3rd. Kurt got really loose on corner entry with that higher lane. Johnson easily clears and pulls away. Lead is almost down to 3 seconds. It's going to be tough for Johnson to actually get to Gordon before the tires start to even out. Probably expect somewhere between right around lap 140 the tires are going to even out, considering Johnson pitted at lap 110. Oh my goodness, that was a hard hit into the wall for Johnson off turn 4. Cerebral Assassin, welcome to the stream. Hey, out of curiosity, by the way, with that name, is that a Triple H reference at all? I ask that because not only am I a pro wrestling fan, but Triple H was my favorite of all time. I should say is my favorite of all time. It is all right, sweet. I had a suspicion. I didn't ask you yet, but I've been in the chat here for a little bit now. I'm showing up pretty frequently. Johnson definitely mowing through the lap traffic. Gordon's lead is down to about 1.5 seconds. Ryan Newman in 2nd is not too far up the way, and it seems like he has closed in on Jeff Gordon quite a bit. Johnson underneath, well, I was going to say underneath Newman. Newman threw a pretty big block off the exit of turn 4. I do not have Champions Edition for NASCAR 21 Edition. I usually get like the collector's edition or whatever it would be for NASCAR games. I did not get it this year. I don't know why I didn't originally, but I'm glad I didn't, considering how bad the game is. But spend an extra $30 on it. I mean, I'm paying for the DLCs anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. It'll all equal itself out over time. We got caught up behind Jeff Burton and Sterling Marlin. It's allowed Johnson to close in. Look at Ryan Newman really running Jimmy down. He went really low, and that's going to hurt his corner big time in turns 3 and 4. 1 and 2, I mean. And right back to about a second off the lead again. Newman's going to fly by Burton and Marlin. He's even closing up on Gordon pretty quickly. Definitely got around those 2 lap cars a lot quicker than the 24. Jimmy's still the faster of the 3 for right now. Newman seems to have the faster car of these 3 in general. By the eye test, at least. And he is only about a car length or 2 behind Gordon off turn 4. Johnson to the inside of Marlin. Jeff Burton going to stay wide. Jimmy Johnson going to get underneath him now and clear him off turn 2. And Burton might have scraped the wall off the exit of 2, stacking up Marlin from behind. Tires are about evened out at this point in the run. Johnson trying to give it his all. Looks like Newman lost time to Gordon that last lap. Johnson trying to find a way underneath Newman. And he gets underneath him off the exit of turn 2. He'll clear him down the back straightaway. Johnson trying to go after his teammate Gordon for the lead. Big corner exit for Johnson. Beating Gordon back to the gas, a pass into turn 1. This could potentially be the 3rd different time Jimmy Johnson will lead a lap in this race today. Gordon, I believe, has still led the most by quite a bit. Boy, big shut of the door that time for Johnson on the 24. Johnson. Oh, Gordon in the wall. He overdrove 1 and 2, put it in the wall, and Newman's up to 2nd. The young gun's getting around the series veteran. Johnson's definitely been struggling with turn 3 and the long runs in this race today. Say all 3 lap cars got around Casey Mears pretty quickly. Newman had a really low exit to turn 4. And up the track goes the 12. Maybe overran 1 and 2, entered a little too flat. Johnson caps him by a couple car lengths now. Maybe a little bit of breathing room for the 48. Newman looking to charge right back. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race tonight at Dover when we get back to the start-finish line this time. Do that for about an 8-lap stretch here. Gordon trying to get back around the 12 of Ryan Newman, it looks like. Looks low off the exit of turn 4. He is there. So side by side for second between Jeff Gordon and Ryan Newman. Johnson entered a little bit too far flat that time. Gordon's going to clear Ryan Newman for second place as he tries to get to his teammate Jimmy Johnson. Got 4 lap cars, fairly tightly bunched together. See if Johnson's going to struggle and perhaps get around him. Johnson may have overran the exit of the corner. Gordon maybe going to look to the outside into turns 1 and 2. That's not going to work. And he might lose second place back to Newman because of it. It looks like they're side by side down the back straightaway. Jimmy having a tough time trying to get the car to turn. Now it turned too much in the center of the corner. It's all right, though. He still holds on to the lead. Newman battled Gordon back for second. In the middle of 3 and 4, Johnson's had a bad habit of trying to cut down in the center of the corner, and he cuts a little too much. Did it in 1 and 2 that time as well, kind of clipping the apron. Scrubbing off a little bit extra corner exit speed. Again, he does it. Ryan Newman and Jeff Gordon are right there all of a sudden. Gordon on the bottom of the track. Clears Ryan Newman. And now he'll look low off the exit of turn 4. His own teammate Jimmy Johnson with the block, and Gordon's in the wall in turn 1. So Gordon overruns the corner. Ryan Newman back to second. About a 4/10 of a second gap between the 48 and the 12. Lap 151, we are over 140 laps now since the last caution flag on the racetrack. The only other caution flag we had back on lap 7, they spin in turn 1 for Mike Murphy. Bunch of near cautions not that long after that on the next restart. Things are pretty well spaced apart right now. Jimmy goes up the track, Newman to the bottom. And he is going to clear Johnson off turn 4 for the lead. He was sitting there for a little while, and he finally got around the 48. Johnson seems to be maybe a bit better in 1 and 2, but not as good in 3 and 4. He got tight on entry into turn 3, and definitely cost him. He entered really flat that time. This is more ground, but 2 lap cars are right in front of Ryan Newman. Holding him up. Newman can't go anywhere. Johnson's got a good corner exit off turn 2, trying to get to the inside of the 12. Side drops that left turn corner panel. On the inside of Newman. They were side by side in front of Newman. He had nowhere to go but to just kind of hold up behind both Greg Biffle and the 174. Johnson goes wide. He makes a little bit of contact with Biffle. Seth Taylor in the 174 car. Johnson cleared the 174, but up the track he goes. Oh, that's 3 wide. He's backing out of it, trying to keep it off the wall. He still gets in the wall, and Biffle gets into him. Nowhere to go. Johnson put himself in a bad spot over driving turn 1, and Newman's back out in front. Gordon to second. Johnson's still on the outside of the lap car. Biffle and scrubs the wall again off turn 4. Oh, Seth Taylor gets loose. He might have gotten a piece of the wall now. Johnson going to consider short pitting here very soon for his second stop of the day. Trying to pull what Gordon did. It helped Gordon get to the lead on that last restart. Jimmy's going to try to gap these guys maybe a little more as he got in the left rear of his teammate Gordon to let him go back by. Gordon was pinching him down the straightaway. So here comes Johnson into the pits. 4 tires and fuel for the 48, one of the most narrow pit roads to get onto. An air pressure adjustment for Jimmy Johnson. They're going to drop it 2 pounds. That is the only adjustment through the first 2 pit stops of the day as Johnson is in the pits once again. Cutting this second fuel run in about half. Oh, geez, I was a little slow getting back to speed on the racetrack there. Making sure I was going to hit the like button. I haven't hit it myself yet. I usually do it before the stream starts. That would be the reason why. I typically like pausing it in this game. Really, any game. The only danger with short pitting right now is if we get a caution before everybody else pits, it's going to trap Johnson a lap down. Currently, he's in 31st. No clue who the first car lap down would be that he would try to race for the free pass position. Here's a pretty big block on the 10 of Scott Riggs. They're battling likely for position. A couple of the rookies. Pro Chim Skills, welcome to the stream. Johnson's got the fresh tires and he is going to work. Passes Riggs for position, passes Vickers, who was on the lead lap. Wintrip was in the top 10 last we saw of him, so he's probably on the lead lap as well. Probably imagine everybody else is going to pit right around lap 1 I'd probably say about 185 to lap 190. So Johnson pitted about 20 to 25 laps before we're going to see anybody else pit. It's a lot more significant than when Gordon pit 15 laps before Johnson in the first fuel run of the race to get to the lead. An extra 5 to 10 laps roughly for Jimmy. They'll try to run it back down when they get fresher tires. In the meantime, if this stays green long enough to at least cycle through the pit stops, it's going to help Johnson. He's hoping it will give him enough of a lead that he can lead more laps, because he hasn't really led many laps in this race compared to the 12 and the 24. It's definitely been a three-horse race so far, it seems like, for the win, all between Chase drivers. Johnson trying to win the first two races of the Chase after winning at the Magic Mile, getting the New Hampshire sweep. Winning both races, both of them went caution-free as well. And we know this one won't go caution-free. We've had one yellow so far. Got to play a round of golf after a month. Man, wish I could do that. Like 37 degrees and rain snow mix started about 2:30, 3 o'clock today. I think it's only supposed to be a high of 28 in 2 days, and then tomorrow it's supposed to be a high of 47. But it's supposed to be pretty windy like all day. 25 to 35 mile an hour winds, gusts over 40. So it's not going to feel like 47. It's probably going to feel like 20. That time of the year where I live. Also Rusty Wallace. Played Sadler now, really gripping the bottom end of 1 and 2. The car didn't go up the track that time after clipping the apron because he's got the fresher tires to be able to try and hold on. Stewart trying to go for the Dover sweep. Labonte blocking Johnson. Oh, he wiggled big time getting into 1. Johnson will get underneath him off turn 2 now. Johnson under Kane. Jeff Green probably for position. Yep. Johnson back to 25th. Drives under Mark Martin. Martin was already a lap down. That was 2 down. So it was the 109 of Andy Armstrong. Kevin Harvick on the lead lap. Dale Jarrett, we know, is on the lead lap. He's gotten up to drivers inside the top 10. Pretty solid. No exit off 4 into 1. Blows around Jarrett. Couple Ganassi cars, Marlin and Mears. They might be both for position. Casey Mears definitely was. So is Sterling Marlin and Mike Murphy. Jeff Burton was battling Marlin for position earlier, so we know that'll be a position for Johnson, and he's up to 21st. Almost halfway home at the Monster Mile here tonight on the channel. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Live and realistic commentary for these full race NASCAR video game live streams, both past and present. A nostalgic NASCAR video game that we are racing on tonight. We'll go back to NASCAR 21 edition again tomorrow. for a career mode live stream. I'm not doing that too often, but we'll do it for the bigger races. Tomorrow we run at Talladega for the Geico 500. Should be a pretty good one. Kenseth stuck behind Scott Wimmer. Ooh, they're going to fan out. Johnson going to let Kenseth go. Definitely not a time where Jimmy has to be patient, but he is trying to be very smart here. Over the outside wasn't very bright either. Got all the gas off the exit of the corner, trying to keep it clean and keep it off the wall again. Well, yeah, I mean, if you only play once, you're not going to be good. It's definitely a game you have to be consistent with. I mean, you can play, 5 days a week for a year and still not, be good by your standards, whatever your standards would be. It's such a hard game, such a difficult game. And that's the thing. Even professionals have really bad days at the course. So I mean, you automatically know that you're not going to be on it 100% of the time. But as long as you have fun, though, in the end, that's all that really matters. Well, there it is, lap 186, and we're seeing some green flag pit stops now. Big checkup by Kenseth and Biffle, and Johnson gets into the back of the Biff. Well, coincidentally, we're in the 48 car for the career mode. I'm driving as myself on the career mode, but yeah, driving the Ally 48. We got the Ally 48 there. We got the Lowe's 48 on this season. You guys fan voted for both. Johnson back inside the top 10. Ryan Newman still on the racetrack. As of lap 188, he has not pit yet. We'll see if he pits this time. No, he does not. Newman's still on the racetrack. Gets by Vickers for position. Actually, Vickers just came out of the pits. That spot was gained because somebody else was in the pit lane. Newman trying to stay out in case we get a caution. We almost had one right there. Big stack up. Michael Waltrip and Robbie Gordon got into one another after Robbie Gordon had scraped the outside wall off turn 4. That is why Newman's staying out of the pits, trying to trap a lot of guys a lap down who have already made their stop. Newman's still out there. He is losing a ton of time, though, but same thing that happened to Johnson's going to happen to Newman here. Jimmy was about 7 seconds off the lead after he cycled out of the pit lane. Johnson up to 5th currently. If you get a birdie in your first ever round of playing golf, that's about really all you can, really wish for. That's pretty impressive, all things considered. There's Gordon in the pit, so I guess he stayed out quite a while too. So Gordon stayed out of the pits quite some time. Ryan Newman staying out even longer. Pitted a lap after Gordon earlier. We'll see if they'll do that again this time. Johnson's definitely going to take this run as far as he possibly can, considering it should be a one-stop race to the finish. Pros make it look easy. Yeah. I mean, you have to be like basically perfect on every hole just to get it, or perfect on a hole to get a birdie. And still can't believe Newman's on the track. He's the last car on the lead lap. He might be trying to make it to lap 200. It's pretty close. Dan Clark, welcome to the stream. Is NASCAR 21 ignition not working? No, it might not be. I don't know. But going back to this for tonight, we finished the custom schedule season up all ready for what we were going to run with it. Somebody just brushed the wall off turn 4. Ryan Newman also just came into the pits that last time by, so Johnson will cycle back into the race lead when he gets back to the start-finish line. Newman was the last car on the track, trying to lead as many laps as possible as well. Maybe get himself the most laps led. Johnson leads that lap 199 now, and we're just a lap shy of halfway. Jimmy really loose into 3. Casey Mears gets by. Johnson trying to cut underneath and cross him over. We'll go back to NASCAR 21 ignition again tomorrow for a career mode live stream at Talladega for the Geico 500. This moment there, it's Casey Mears. On the inside of the 48 of Johnson. Johnson getting out of shape. Mears got out of shape, though, back into 1. I don't think Johnny Sutter ever came back onto the track like the crew chief said he was going to. I don't know why he said that. Casey Mears is racing the heck out of Jimmy Johnson right now. He's already 1 lap down, just trying not to go a second lap down. Johnson tried to hold the outside. He struggled with that today when he's had a car underneath him. I thought for a second he had it, but he didn't. It's about the 3rd time Johnson's gotten to the inside of Casey Mears. Hopefully if he clears him this time. When he clears him, because it looks like he'll clear him into turn 1. Hopefully he keeps him behind him. Still got about a 9.5 second lead after pitting about 25 laps before everybody else, trying to short pit that second stop of the day. We're just past halfway. Still only the 1 caution back at lap 7. Caution free since. After Mike Murphy spin in turn 1, backing it into the outside wall. Thanks for that comment, by the way, Dan. Appreciate it. The goal is to one day become a commentator in the sport of NASCAR. This is the first foot in the door, and definitely involved with the sport heavily throughout my life, but I'd say even more so over the last couple of years traveling to, last really 3 or 4 years traveling to different NASCAR tracks. And now obviously starting the YouTube channel over a year ago now, and definitely a pretty cool experience getting to meet every one of you guys in the chat. New, recurring. the end of the day, we're here to have fun and here to give the entertainment. And my side of the entertainment is broadcasting these realistically. So, as well as the races on the weekend. About 2 months till the Busch Clash. That'll be the next live race live stream on the channel. Ooh. Contact between Wimmer and race leader Jimmy Johnson. I am playing on my PS2. Yeah, any of the older NASCAR games that we've played on the channel, or older racing games in general, have so far been on the PS2. And then PS4 for the newer games that we've played on the channel, NASCAR Heat 4, Heat 5, and NASCAR 21. Yeah, I did see that. The entire game hates me. It's not just the AI. It's still mind-boggling, though. Larson turned us on lap 1. And it was all downhill from there. 39th place finish despite getting to the end of the race. A wreckfest of a race, might I add, at Daytona. 10 cautions. Overtime finish. Nope, everything's on PS2. Second place on back really isn't cutting into that lead drastically. It was about almost 11 seconds. It was a little over 10.5 seconds for Jimmy had gotten back to the lead after Ryan Newman had finally cycled out of the pits. It's down to about 9.1. Realistically, I don't see Johnson with the pace he's got right now and the pace everybody else has trying to catch him, that he's going to lose the lead before he gets to that next pit stop, which is really what he would like. That was probably the best case scenario considering that he's trying to lead laps to get the most laps led. I still believe Gordon has led the most up to this point. I'd say Johnson is probably right there with Newman. Maybe he has led a little bit more than Newman in this race. But Newman was the last car to stay on the racetrack, though, in the race lead. During that second cycle of pit stops. There it is. So halfway on fuel for Johnson. Probably going to be able to go about another 50, 55 laps on fuel. Guess a short pitting he will have to pit a fourth time, but it seemed like for the AI they were going to have to pit about 4 times anyway, because they didn't even, there were some drivers that made it to lap 100, but they didn't even make it to lap 200 that time. Newman was the last car to pit. He pitted at lap 198, so he's a couple laps shy on fuel at least. That's a little loose off 4. Halfway through the run. Slide past the 40 of Marlin. So we got a couple races at Talladega coming up next week on the channel. NASCAR 21 Ignition Career Mode live stream tomorrow. Earlier in the day, we'll upload the NASCAR Career Mode race at Richmond, so you don't want to miss that before the start of the Career Mode live stream. And that live stream will kick off at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. Will be the plan. Later in the week, we'll be at Talladega on this game for the next race of the Chase. It'll be race 3, the Chase for the Nextel Cup. Marlin back to the inside of Jimmy Johnson. Johnson kept it off the wall on the high side. That might have been the first time all day long he's kept it off the wall running the top. Didn't give up too much time to Sterling Marlin. Johnson shoved a little bit that time. Little clip on the left rear of Marlin, and Marlin cracks the wall off turn 2. Jeff Green gets by the 40. Jeff Green battling down to the bottom. Oh boy, Jimmy Johnson barely clears him with a block getting into turn 1, middle of turns 1 and 2. Green in the 43 for Richard Petty Motorsports, fighting back to the bottom again, and again Johnson pulls clear on corner entry. Been stuck on the high side a couple laps now. Now Green might get stuck on the outside as Marlin gets under him after Green had a couple of failed attempts to get to the inside of the 48. Definitely battling these lap cars is also going to allow other drivers to eat into that lead on top of the fresher tires alone. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. Ignition is taking the night off. The real reason why we didn't do that Talladega live stream tonight for Ignition, and I mentioned it last night at the end of the stream, was I didn't know if I was going to be able to record and edit the Richmond race in time because we still have to do the Acura mode race. Again, that'll be edited and uploaded sometime tomorrow. Gonna get up right away in the morning and go hard at work finishing up the editing with that one before I go out and do some Christmas shopping. Hopefully it'll be uploaded by the time I'm out doing all that. And then make sure I'm back home by 6 to get the next NASCAR 21 Ignition live stream. Definitely going to be seeing a lot more live streams with this game during the off season. I do plan on doing one more season with NASCAR 21 Ignition outside of the career mode with my favorite driver, Ryan Blaney. I don't want to start that until NASCAR actually starts up again next season because I want to do one race a week and just kind of go week by week with the season from that. So Daytona 500 and then, run the same race also that, next week. And on race days, I'm not actually at the track. I want to do those races on the same day, but obviously I plan on going to the first 2 races next year, so I'm not going to be able to upload those on the Sunday. I'll have to upload them before I leave. We're going to have an extended Speed Weeks on the channel, both realistically and virtually, of course. And it starts off with the Busch Clash 2 weeks before the 500. Doing live commentary for that race, and then after that, we'll have that Daytona 500 for NASCAR 21 Ignition, that final season. On the career mode, I plan on doing a NASCAR 21 Ignition career mode live stream for the Daytona 500 whenever I get done, with whatever season I'm on leading up to that one. But I plan on doing that right around that time in February. And then in this game, we'll have a few different series, the Truck Series, the Busch Series, and the Cup Series. And that will lead pretty close to about the time. Of course, the Cup Series will be a Daytona 500 with this game as well. So a lot of Daytona action on the channel when Speed Weeks rolls around in February. Real life now it's Speed Week, but it'll be Speed Weeks for us. We'll have plenty of action. And then when I'm actually live at the track in person for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll have those uploads of race highlights from the grandstands. Jimmy Johnson chased for 8, indeed. Trying to get Johnson his first championship on this season. It's before he actually won one in real life. His first title wasn't until 2006 when he ended up winning 5 in a row. Then another one in 2013 and 2016, giving him 7 total. This would give him 8. We were able to accomplish that on NASCAR Heat 5, getting one at the end of his career. Now trying to get one closer towards the beginning of his career. Johnson in the 2004 Nextel Cup Series season would have only been in his 3rd full-time season, but definitely was a championship contender right out of the gate. Even his rookie year, he had the points lead with about 8 races to go in the season. Still had a top 10 points finish as well. Legend in the making. Johnson washed up the track, made a little contact with McKinney. Johnson overdrives the corner a bit. It leads down to about 7.4 seconds. Johnson definitely getting the most laps led during this run compared to the first 2 fuel and tire windows and runs of the race. Just going to have to hope when he pits again that we don't get another caution in the middle of green flag pit stops. Tend to have that on this game for whatever reason. I think it's more of a coincidental thing, but this season in 3 different races, Johnson had stayed out longer than everybody else and got a caution at some point in the race. He's on opposite strategy, short pitting today, but hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him. Forty at Marlin's really been right around Johnson this entire run. Just in front of him for a little while. Now he's, even after the 48 passed him a couple dozen laps ago, he's still right there with the 48. Johnson not able to get a run to get underneath Mike Murphy. Just doesn't have the grip in his car with the older tires. I'd say Murphy running right in front of him is definitely not helping Johnson's lap times either, making the car even tighter than what it already would be on older tires. Hamilton to the 122 coming up side by side between the 199 and the 122. Austin Hamilton. Johnson trying to get to the inside of Austin Hamilton. Instead, he gets into his left rear. And into the wall and into Marlin. Contact with the 40. Both cars get tangled up on the front stretch. And a great save by both Marlin and Johnson. That's going to cut that lead down quite a bit. Marlin had to go down to the apron to stay out of oncoming traffic's way. Big moment there that almost caused their second caution of the race. All kind of started getting into turn 3 when Johnson had made contact with Andrew Hamilton in the 122. Johnson's going to be stuck on the outside again. That lead knocked down to about 4.7 seconds now. Can I address the petty team, Sam? as far as like explaining, I mean, there's not a whole lot to explain with it because we don't know great detail of what it is. We're not really going to know until a couple days from now yet. Tuesday is their team press conference, but GMS has bought majority ownership in Richard Petty Motorsports. Richard Petty does still own part of the race team. He hasn't owned full ownership of the race team or even majority ownership of the race team in decades, in quite some time. I can't remember the name of who GMS bought out. I can't think of the name of the guy that had the majority ownership and was running the operations mostly behind the scenes. Most of Petty's ownership is mainly for the name game. It's a lot easier to sell sponsors with the name Richard Petty. And I would have to assume, even with GMS having majority ownership, that that's still going to be the case, that the Petty name is going to be heavily tied, I feel like, to the 43 car. Could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. Again, a lot of that of what I just said was speculation. We'll just have to wait and see for Tuesday. But we know they have majority ownership right now. And as of right now, it seems to appear that Petty still has part ownership in the race team. It probably will for forever, perhaps. There's definitely something big that happened out of the blue, too. You didn't really hear any like murmurings or rumors of that happening. It just all of a sudden the bombshell dropped last week, and we had to. There wasn't a lot of details that came out with it because not a lot of people really know much behind the scenes, which is probably why it was kept behind closed doors quite a bit. Less than 150 laps to go at Dover. A 3.4 second lead for Jimmy Johnson. It was 10.8 seconds the start of this run with lap traffic and the fact that Johnson pitted 25 laps before anybody else trying to extend this lead out. They're starting to slowly eat into it. Lap after lap, corner after corner. Even one caution for a race at Dover is pretty impressive. Especially considering it was on lap 7 and we haven't had one since. If this somehow did go green to the end, that'd be by the time we went green, 390 lap green flag run to the end of the race. At one of the more difficult tracks in NASCAR. One of the more difficult pit road entries as well. Haven't seen any issues with that, both for Johnson as well as other drivers who have made 2 sets of green flag stops. And have a third upcoming not too far off in the making. Lead just under 3 seconds at the line that time for Johnson. About an eighth of a tank left of fuel for Jimmy Johnson. You also see on the indicator on the upper right-hand corner of the screen now that both the front tires and the right rear are down in the yellow, so quite a bit of tire wear there. Affecting Johnson into turn 3, slide up the track and lets the lap car Jeff Green get by in the 43. 140 to go, lead down to 2.5 seconds. Johnson pitted at lap 163. He was able to go 110 laps at the start of the race, but we also had a caution, which gave him about 3 caution laps to help save fuel. It's probably going to be anywhere between lap 268 to lap 273. Johnson will end up making his stop. And he passes Jeff Green back. And Green in the wall off the exit of turn 2, helping Johnson clear that time. Hopefully he doesn't go back and forth with the 43 too much longer. Johnson still trying to hold the lead before he makes his stop. About that 7 to 10 lap mark. Down to 2 seconds even. Almost seems like the back half of the run, they've definitely closed on Johnson a lot more. Johnson did make an air pressure adjustment change during that last stop. Maybe made him a little bit faster on the short run, why he wasn't losing as much time there, because it did seem like he had a better long run car at the start of the race. They didn't make any adjustments during the first stop. I've heard of the American Truck Simulator, but I haven't played it. Shuts the door on Andrew Hamilton off the exit of turn 2 with a clean pass. Oh, up the track goes Johnson, tight into 3 again. Hamilton going to get underneath him. Jimmy going to let him go, so he can hold that outside off the exit of turn 4. Jeff Green's going to get underneath Jimmy Johnson now off the exit of turn 2. Johnson trapped behind Hamilton into 3. Lap traffic's definitely costing Johnson now. Hamilton almost ended up in the wall. Johnson to the inside of him, lead down to a second. No adjustments coming for the 48 under the third stop of the race. Running dry on fuel. Trying to extend it just in case caution comes out before he has to pit. Once he does make that stop, he really doesn't want there to be a yellow until everybody cycles through. We know it's probably going to be close to that lap 300 mark. Oh, big hit into the wall for Jeff Green in the 43. He may have had contact from behind from Sterling Marlin in the 40 as well, who was closing in. Now the left rear is really getting worn out on Johnson's race car. Johnson going to pit at lap 270, so he'll stay out this time. He'll pit the following time by for his third stop of the day. He's about close to 20 laps short on fuel. Maybe he could take it a little bit further, but he doesn't want to risk it. Don't want to risk running out of gas here, really on any track. So there it is, no adjustments under the third stop of the day. Ryan Newman will take over the race lead in the 12. He was the last car to hit pit road during the second set of stops. We'll see if that'll be the case again here. 14 people watching right now, 12 likes on the stream. Hit that like button, everybody, if you haven't already. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we're getting down to the end of this race. Our second to last stop, just over 100 laps to go at the Monster Mile in Dover. These laps will click by pretty quickly here. This fast, short track. Johnson only had about a second lead on Newman before he pit. Johnson getting up to speed. Plenty of room out in front of him, and now he'll try to take off with fresh tires. Trying to extend the lead out again on the 12 of Newman. Johnson's pit crew, though, 3 for 3 today on these green flag stops without making any mistakes. Hopefully they can keep that up for the fourth and final stop a little bit later. We had a couple cautions in the first Dover race earlier this season, but again, only one so far. Very close also to 1.3 thousand subscribers coming into the stream tonight. We were only 7 away, so hopefully we can get there by the end of this one. Not sure where we're at currently, but Harvick with a really low entry into 3. He might be pitting this time. I don't know. Oof. That was a block by Brendan Gaughan in the 77. Johnson checks up in the middle of the corner. I'd say Johnson's definitely been a lot better with patience in the second half of the race than the first half. It was a little ugly out of the gate. I'm starting at the rear. He was trying to race to the front as quick as possible. Luckily, he made it through unscathed, surviving the 1 yellow with the spinning Mike Murphy. Follow that 29 of Harvick, right by Dale Jr. and Joe Nemechek. Johnson trying to get to the inside of Harvick. Harvick with a big block. And now Johnson's underneath the 29 on turn 4. Sadler gets a little loose on corner entry into 1. Johnson's able to get under him because of it. Passes Sadler and Harvick with the fresher tires. Working on the 18 of Bobby Labonte. And Labonte pulls into the pit lane, so that's an easy pass for Jimmy Johnson. Didn't have to work hard at all to get around the 18, who is one of the next cars to pit, and that will likely start the swing of more cars coming into the pit lane for their second to last stop of the night. Pause the game for a quick second down the front stretch. Got a pop-up ad on my... In the way, it was blocking the chat. And back in rhythm. Kurt Busch went way up the track in turn 1. I know he was on the outside of the 48. He gave him plenty of room. I don't think he had to go that wide. Probably wasn't intentional. So now Newman's going to click away as many laps left as he possibly can before he pits and gives it back up to the 48. Little bobble. Oh, we got a car blowing up on the inside of the track, and that is Matt Kenseth. Our first chase driver now to have an engine failure here tonight at Dover. Major championship implications for the 17 of Kenseth, who came in right around 8th in the point standings. It's already a huge blow for him in race 2. Still got 8 races to go, and the unknown wildcard race at Talladega is next, but that is a tough break for the 17 DeWalt team and trying to hunt for back-to-back championships considering he was the 2003 champ. Jeff Gordon going to pit this time. Newman out on the track still. He's made it a little bit further than Gordon. All 3 stops now. And the furthest Johnson's able to go, even with a caution, was 110 laps of fuel. We'll see when Newman pits. But if he could somehow make it on one more stop, I mean, he's going to have this race locked in. I'd be shocked if he'd be the only driver to make it on 3 stops today, but I don't think it's impossible at the same time. As long as he can make it a few more laps, he'll have a chance. Maybe he doesn't run as hard on the final run of the race. Still another driver who hasn't made his final stop yet outside of Johnson. See if Newman pits this time around. He will not. Newman stays on the track. Second place is pit. That will give Jimmy Johnson the second place position back, which would put him in the free pass if we did get a yellow. Oh, never mind. I guess he's still in third. Well, Newman has definitely made it within that 110 lap mark. It's lap 291 for Ryan Newman, considering he's a lap ahead. They're second place into the pits now, so Johnson is officially the first car lap down. If we got a yellow, he'd at least get the free pass. Lucky dog, but man, Newman still has not made that stop. That would just be absolutely insane if he outsmarts the field. The more laps Newman goes on this run, the more of a chance he's going to have of making it to the end. This is just absolutely insane that he has made it this far, and nobody else has been able to go this far the whole race. Now he'll pit lap 293. So Newman has to go 107 laps to the end of this race on fuel, which isn't impossible. Johnson made it 110 laps earlier, but that was also with a caution in the middle of that run. 3 laps of yellow. That would have been 107 green flag laps. Johnson made it. Newman is going to be very, very close on fuel to the end. Lead change at the start-finish line that time. Jimmy Johnson is the new leader at Dover for the time being. Future dominator of this racetrack. Getting a lot of career wins here. Trying to get his first career win at Dover, I believe, unless he had one in 2002 or 2003. I really don't know if he won at Dover in those years. You have to stat check me down in the chat. Not as big of a lead as he had last time. It looks like it's about 9.5 seconds. It was 10.8. And Johnson short pitted the first time around, so he's lost a little bit of time over the last really 200 laps compared to the rest of the field on average. But he is still in the best spot outside of perhaps Ryan Newman to win this race. We know if we get another caution, everybody's going to pit then. It's not worth short pitting again if you're Jimmy. Considering he could take this to about 20 laps to go, or maybe just over 20 laps left before he has to pit, he might go right side tires only, maybe even no tires, to try and gain time on Newman, who may be able to make it on fuel. It's going to be about 130 lap old tires at the end of the race, so for Johnson. That is asking quite a bit if he ends up going no tires. I think the best bet is just kind of hope for a caution in these final 100 laps. You'd hate to give up a 9-second race lead I guess the later it would happen, the better, considering he may have a chance of clinching the most laps led without having to really battle anybody. And now we got some drivers short pitting early into the run with about 100 laps to go this time. Dale Jr. making up his mind. Elliott Sadler as well, short pitting Jr. in the chase. Sadler is not. So a little bit of more alternating strategies here. Another car just pulling into the pit lane. Looked like the 25 of Brian Vickers. Rookie, also non-chaser. And meanwhile, that leads down to about 8.9 seconds with Johnson running on a little bit older tires again. Does have fairly clean air in front of him, though. Casey Kane's been all over his back bumper trying to get his lap back. Matt Kenseth also in the pits. I believe Rusty Wallace also in pit lane. So a lot of the faster cars have been running in the top 10, deciding to short pit to the end. Risky if we get a yellow. It's going to not pan out for him. But they're hoping that by the trends, it may go green to the end. Again, we've only had one caution so far. It is back on lap 7. Casey Kane to the inside of Johnson, passes him cleanly. Johnson didn't really let him in. Casey just did all the work there. Casey Kane, the only rookie in the chase. It's crucial for him to get that lap back. Johnson couldn't quite get back underneath him there. Rides in line behind him. Question of the night, as far as this race is concerned, down to the chat. Do you think Ryan Newman's going to be able to make it on fuel 107 laps to the end? He is very, very close. And I think even Johnson going fuel only, I mean, he's got to have this race won. You'd have to imagine. Not sure if that's him at second, 9.4 seconds off the lead or not. But if it is, no chance that Johnson would win this race otherwise. Assuming Newman makes it. If I were Newman, I wouldn't want to be pushing that hard, knowing that he would be the only one eligible to be able to make it on fuel. Trying to do what William Byron did in NASCAR 21 Ignition at Michigan earlier in the week. On that live stream for the custom schedule season, when he was able to make it on 3 stops and everybody else had to make 4 at Michigan race. Newman trying to do the same thing here at Dover on the same amount of stops, 3 versus everybody else making 4. Newman in the chase, that would be a huge point stake, especially if he can lead the most laps along with it. Johnson's definitely been leading a lot during the run. Robbie Gordon brushes the wall off the exit of turn 2. Johnson up the track a little bit. He's sandwiched 3 wide in the middle. Oh, that is a dangerous spot to be. Kyle Petty just slapped the wall up turn 4. Oh, Casey Kane gets really loose into turn 1, and Johnson cuts back underneath him. A lot of heavy racing with the lap cars. Johnson clears Kane back off the exit of turn 2. I'm surprised they merged this. I should say that Johnson made it through 3 wide middle at Dover with no contact. First time he's been in that situation in the 312 laps thus far. Hopefully he doesn't have to be in that situation again to the end of the race. He's on about 42 lap old tires right now. Wasn't exactly fresh, but not quite halfway through the run either. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Whoa. Lights flickered on me. Really don't feel like losing power right now. We're so close to the end of this race. So close. I don't think it's storming that bad outside. I'm kind of surprised that happened. Talk about something out of the ordinary trying to break your concentration. That was almost it. Johnson's still locked in. Let me know if you guys saw that down in the chat. It wasn't the game, it was my lights in my room. It looked like it nearly went off. Somebody forget to pay the bill this month? My room's haunted. That was crazy. It's like every light just kind of flickered. Only 80 laps to the finish, so hopefully we can get there. We've lost power during a stream once before. Sometime, oh man, loose getting into one, but sometime in the middle of the summer, we had a pretty bad storm and we had the power go out, and I ended up having to rerun the race the next day. I would not be rerunning this one considering we only have less than 80 laps to go. I'd probably just simulate it, but who knows where we're going to finish. And we know Johnson, if it stays great, is likely going to be locked into a second place finish at least. It's just going to be a matter of who's going to win between him and Ryan Newman, depending on if Newman can make it on field at the end of the race. I don't think anybody's catching Johnson unless he has a really bad run in lap traffic to the end, which isn't impossible, but again, we'll just have to wait and see how this will work itself out. All those other drivers short pitting, I wonder if they may cycle ahead of Johnson as well, depending on what Johnson does pit stop wise. The ghost in my room is trying to mess me up. As far as I know, this house is not haunted. I've been living here for a little while now, and I haven't noticed anything like that going on. There it is. So halfway on fuel with about 75 laps to go for Jimmy Johnson. Pitted at lap 270. So maybe about 55 more laps roughly he can go at the very most. Finished top 5 in the Xfinity Series on Heat 4. Good run. So there it is. Jimmy Johnson has just clinched the most laps led that last time by. So I guess he has actually led a lot more laps than what I originally thought in this race. It took him about 54 to get to the lead at the start, but this strategy has allowed him, by short pitting, to gain a little bit more ground on the field, that he's not having to battle for the lead during these last two green flag, I should say last two tire stints now. So it is a 10 bonus point night for Jimmy Johnson at Dover. Now we'll have to see if he can get the win to get the max points day for the first two playoff races. Chase races, now known as the playoffs. Oh, contact with his teammate Labonte off turn 2. Johnson just went a little too wide off the exit of the corner, and he rushed alongside the 5, and now he's put 3 wide middle, and he makes contact with Labonte again. Second time he's been 3 wide middle in the last probably 20 laps or so. That time it did not work out. And Labonte's back to the inside of Johnson. He's going to let Labonte go. Well, that'll stunt his run out. Mark Martin to the inside of Johnson, who slides up out of the way. Jimmy has to actually get on the brakes off the exit of 4 to keep it off the wall. So now all of a sudden he's really struggled with lap traffic, which is what happened back in that first race at Nova earlier this season. And the lead's cut down to 6.5 seconds. Still 70 laps remain. Sure, I don't care. You can post the lights flickering if you want. Up to 15 likes on the stream right now. Thanks for everybody hitting that like button. Again, subscribe if you have not already. Very close to 1.3 thousand subs coming into the night. Hopefully we can get there within the next 67 laps, as that's all we have left in the NA America 400 at Dover. 6.3 second lead currently for Jimmy Johnson. Everybody has to make one more pit stop to the end, except for those who short pitted and perhaps Ryan Newman, who was trying to make this race on 3 stops. You'd have to go 107 laps on this run, which as far as green flag laps goes, as far as Johnson was able to go today. It's Christmas time, not Halloween. It is. If you're fine with that. Yeah, I personally don't care. If you guys want to post or clip anything from the channel, by all means go ahead, because that only perhaps puts more eyes on the channel. My channel, that is, if other people are posting stuff about me, that gets the word out. So I personally don't care. Funny moments, wild moments, weird moments, I couldn't really care. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles one more time in this race today for about the next 8 laps. That'll lead us up to right around 55 laps to go. Will we see a second caution, which will really change the strategy up? With simply just laying out and leveling the playing field. Again, yes, Jimmy Johnson's big lead would go away. Or at least we know Newman would end up likely pitting. I doubt he'd stay out. So we don't have too many laps left in the race. So that's one thing, too. If he's the only car that can make it and everybody pits and then we get a caution, that if he ends up pitting, everybody else that's only 1 lap down would get back on the lead lap with the wave around by staying out. They'd have to line up behind any lap cars that pit. Depending on how many laps left, that might buy Newman enough time. Plus, especially with him having one of the faster cars in the field, and he'll be the front car on the restart, will also help him out. Though then again, with less than 10 laps to go, I kind of forgot that the single file restarts all. Oh, and there it is. Caution's out. Lap 341. We were just talking about it. Second caution of the race today. I swear that happens so much on this channel. We talk about a caution and we get one. It looks. Oh, big crash. Joe Nemechek up on 2 wheels. Heavy damage. He might have been knocked out of the race after that. Heavy smoke pouring out of the back of the race car. Jeff Green had slid and washed up the track in the middle of 1 and 2. Nemechek was on his outside. He clipped him pretty hard, and Nemechek's rear wheels come up off the ground. So we have a caution with 60 to go. 4 tires and fuel for everybody who is not pitted, and everybody who already had pit will take the wave around, but they will be on older tires to the end of the race. So this is going to change everything, ladies and gentlemen. That great racing we saw in those first 100 laps, I think we're about to see it again. That was a big crash. That was one of the biggest ones of the season as far as the impact of the hit into the wall for Nemechek getting squeezed by Jeff Green. We've seen big crashes at Dover in the past, and Jeff Gordon will win the race off of pit road. So just like that, green flag back in the air. It's Gordon who wins the race out of the pits and will get the restart from the lead. Good launch by Johnson, getting down to the bottom in front of Rusty Wallace. One of the lap cars, and now one of the lap cars of Dale Jr. beats Gordon off the exit of 2. Newman's going to try to cross him over down the backstretch. Newman to the inside for the race lead. Side by side for the race lead. Newman to the front. Johnson to the inside. 3 wide as Newman leads at the line. 3 wide down into turn 1. Newman trying to pitch the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Johnson's all the way down on the apron. He's loose. He gets into his teammate Gordon, who clips the 8 of Dale Jr., and Newman drives off. And he's going to clear Sadler in 3 and 4 now. Clean air in front of the 12. Oh, almost trouble off turn 4. Gordon squeezes Jr. into the wall, and some contact between the 2 drivers again. Kind of adjustments has Gordon made to maybe make himself fast. I mean, it's really been a 3-car race all day, and then Gordon slipped behind, but now with the caution, he's back into it. Came into the race second in the point standings. And with a points leader and a very narrow points margin between both himself and Jeff Gordon, Johnson and Gordon, that is going to be a tight points battle leaving here, especially if Gordon's able to finish in front of the 48. Newman got a little loose into 1. Gordon closes in. So does Johnson. Johnson to the inside of Gordon off turn 2 for second. Oh, he pulled up a little early. Bit of contact. That actually stalled Gordon out with the contact that Jr. was able to get by. Dale Jr. lap down. Johnson just completely missed turn 1. And Gordon right back underneath him again. He's not going to struggle with his handling of his car too much. Down to the bottom. Oh, Sadler gets a little loose. Almost makes contact with Gordon Johnson with a 3-wide pass, and he's back to second. Races to the inside of the lap car, Dale Jr. Gets around him cleanly in 3 and 4, and Johnson's got his eyes set on Ryan Newman. Perhaps for the lead. Off turn 4, Newman maybe slid up the track a little much. Johnson for the lead into turn 1, and he's clear. We haven't seen a close race on the channel in a while. NASCAR 21 Ignition really hasn't delivered too much of it. I guess Michigan was pretty good, but margin of victory was still about 1.5 seconds at the end of it. This one has the makings to be closer than that with 48 laps to go. They may not catch lap traffic before the end of the race, too. Gordon got back around Dale Jr. a couple laps ago, and he closes in on the 12 of Ryan Newman. Johnson hasn't really battled for position around Newman and Gordon since making those adjustment changes on the second pit stop of the race. He hasn't made any sense. He didn't make any in the first stop as well. And it's kind of helping him stay somewhat decently in front of Newman. go back to alternating through the camera angles means we got interrupted by that caution earlier. We have 45 laps to go. Jimmy overdrives 1 and 2 a little bit. Gordon may look faster than the 12 right now. Johnson again overdrives the corner in 3 and 4. Newman closing the entire last lap. And Junior is a chase driver. He's the first car lap down. If we got another caution, he'll get the free pass, but he can somehow lap himself and then get a yellow. I don't know how many cars are on the lead lap right now. All those other drivers short pitting earlier on in this run. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have too many cars on the lead lap. Especially considering that green flag run was over 200 laps. But now it's Jimmy Johnson who's got the clean air advantage as he gets the car to roll pretty good right now in front of both Ryan Newman and Jeff Gordon. Boy, Newman with a big block getting into 1 and 2. Newman being Newman, he's going to be tough to pass, especially while he's battling for the win. Gordon's having a hard time trying to get around him. Johnson trying to hit his marks. He wiggles up the track off of turn 4, but so does Newman. And Dale Jr. actually gets to the inside of the 24. Jr. might be the faster car of these 4 drivers. I don't know what he did to his car to get fast, but they made some major adjustments during that pit stop. That 8 crew, Gordon going to cross him over. It looks like it turns 3 and 4. 40 to go. Johnson with a close second place finish to Tony Stewart here earlier in the season. Does not want to finish second, would like to get a win at Dover this year. Extend that points lead, even if it's only by a narrow margin, considering second place in points is running third of Jeff Gordon. So we went green with 57 laps to go. That's a little bit over half the fuel run, so these tires are going to have quite a bit of wear during this final run to the end of the race. So we'll go back to the far chase cam for these final 47 laps. 37 laps, rather. Oh, Jimmy got the wall off, too. There's more midway down the backstretch. I think that's the only reason he was able to stay in front of Newman. He didn't lose too much time off of it. Newman might have actually checked up after he saw that, because now Gordon's on the inside of the 12. Kevin Harvick in the mix. I wonder if he's on the lead lap. I haven't seen him challenge for the lead all day long. I'll tell you what, if he might be in the right place at the right time. He hasn't led a single lap all day. The only 3 cars that have led laps are the 3 leading right now. 1, 2, 3 in the race running order. Not too many lead changes between them as well. Johnson slides up the track off 2. Newman gets into the back of him, knocking him into the wall, and Jeff Gordon's got the lead late. And Harvick to the inside of the 12. Johnson trying to pinch off Harvick. Not sure if Harvick's a lap down or if he's up to 3rd. Newman back a little bit further now. Johnson to the back bumper of the 24 of Gordon. Looks low. Gordon trying to pinch him down on the racetrack. Not going to run his teammate. Oh, man, he's not running him clean. One thing to pinch him, they made a little bit of contact. And Gordon pinched him enough to hold on. I was expecting some clean but aggressive racing. You know, they're both running for a championship and have been the 2 best drivers all season. Oh no, Jimmy gets back into Gordon now. And up the track goes Jeff. A lot of cars going to get around him. That just stacked everybody up. There's a ton of cars under a blanket all of a sudden. Harvick to the inside for the lead. Kevin Harvick, who hasn't led all day, is about to lead now as Johnson messes up trying to squeeze himself in line between himself, of course, the 18 and the 29. And Kevin Harvick, as Labonte just bounced off the wall off turn 4, stacking up cars behind him. Kevin Harvick, for the first time, has led a lap, and it's with 30 to go. He's nicknamed the closer for a reason. Jimmy's struggling with his car right now. Bobby Labonte's on the lead lap. He has not been anywhere near the top 5 all day long. Harvick hitting his marks. Going to make it hard for the 48. Harvick, another chase driver. So is Bobby Labonte. A ton of chase drivers at the front of the field. Johnson drives it in hard and deep into 1, and he clears Harvick back. So Harvick was able to lead about 3 laps there. And now Harvick's in the wall off turn 2. Johnson gaps him by a couple car lengths into 3. Everybody's just all over the place. Nobody can put a consistent run together here, and that has randomized the running order off this last restart. But Johnson's found his way back to the front. We'll have 26 laps to go this time by. This feels like it's going to be one of those races. It's going to come down to the final lap. Johnson trying to get back in a consistent rhythm like he was in before the caution. Tony Stewart's back there in 4th. He started towards the back of the field as well and also has not led. And he is trying to climb himself up there. So now both the Joe Gibbs cars of Labonte and Stewart are running 3rd and 4th all of a sudden. Assuming Labonte and Stewart are on the lead lap, of course. Harvick looking low. Johnson's going to block going into turn 3. Up the track goes Harvick. Labonte may get underneath him. Points are also accurate in this game. Yes, I don't have to do the points myself. Labonte is there. Oh, man, he almost got into Harvick. Never mind. Looked like he pushed up the track into 1. Harvick shut the door at the same time. What a battle down the home stretch at Dover. Harvick again up the track in 3 and 4. Is Labonte going to get under him this time? He does, side by side for 2nd. Harvick again going to try to shut the door on Labonte. He's not going to be able to that time. Labonte is there. And Bobby Labonte, who hasn't won a race all year and hasn't led a lap yet today at Dover, is challenging for the win in a chase race, which he did qualify for the chase. This can put him back in a good hunt to win the title. Labonte with a great corner entry into 1, but Johnson's still able to hit his marks as well and fend him off. 18 drives it in deep again to 48. Not going to give up that time. Labonte might have the fastest car on the track all of a sudden. Oh, Johnson slides up. He's in the wall off 2. Big block on the 18 going into 3. Stacked everybody up. Johnson trying to hold the outside. Labonte underneath him, 20 to go. Side by side for the lead into turn 1, and here comes Stewart to the inside of Harvick for 3rd. Johnson trying to hold the top. He hasn't been able to do it all day with the car on his inside, but he does that time. And he's still up there in the 3. He gets tight again up the track. 18 clear Bobby Labonte to the lead for the first time today at Dover. He wiggles a bit though into 1. It's like nobody wants to win this race. Joe Gibbs sandwich right now with Stewart right behind Johnson in second. Harvick gets under him though in 3 and 4. Labonte up the hill. Johnson to the inside. Jimmy drives it in deep. Clips the apron. He's going to wash up the track, but he is clear and back out in front again. Labonte with a crossover. Big block by Johnson down into 3. And Harvick clears Stewart for 3rd. And now Stewart trying to cross Harvick over back there. Labonte misses his corner again in 1 and 2. He's going to lose more ground to Johnson. And I thought Talladega was going to be wild in the next race of the chase, but this one, after that late caution with 60 to go, is really shaped up to be a wild finish. About 6 cars nearly under a blanket within a second of the lead. Jimmy goes up the track. Get a little bit of leeway. Bobby wasn't going to get underneath him, and we have 15 to go. Was that all Bobby Labonte had to lead that one lap? Or does he have more left in him? He's going to have to hold off the closer, Harvick. Johnson struggled with 3 most of the day on these older tires, and as the tires are wearing out into the run, he goes up the track, but he crowds Labonte in the center of the corner. Got to be careful doing that late in the race. And again, all these guys, all 6 of them at the front battling for the win right now, are all in the chase. I mean, this is just wild. Labonte sends it into 3. So does Johnson. He got the car to stick that time. Labonte's the one that goes up the track. Jimmy overdrove the corner on the bottom, though. He's going to try to protect down there. He makes contact with Labonte into turn 1, and here comes Harvick. Kevin Harvick back to the point. Oh, man, an aggressive move by Johnson, chopping off the 18. And here's Gordon, who you thought was out of it. He's right back in it. Harvick kind of pulled away from Johnson off turn 4 that time. Johnson going to try to get him back. 10 laps to go this time by. Jimmy going to look low, up 4. He beats Harvick back to the gas. Harvick trying to pinch the 48. Johnson clear into turn 1, and Harvick drops in line behind him. Oh, man, Johnson wiggled big time off, too. He kept it off the wall, though, and he didn't want to lift any extra. Tires are wearing out. Patience is wearing out. 9 to go. Finish looking like it's going to be far better than the New Hampshire finish that we had in the first race of the chase, where Jimmy dominated from green flag to checker. He may go down as the most laps led leader in this race. He may not go down as the race winner, and if he does, it's not going to be without a fight. Labonte stuck on the top. He may get trained here as Gordon gets around him. Jimmy makes another mistake into turn 3. Seven to go. Gordon up to 3rd. It looks like Stewart was able to get up to 4th. I believe that's Tony Stewart. Stewart might be in 5th back there. It looks like finally Labonte finds himself in line, but he's in 6th place, coming to 6 to go. Oh, Harvick trying to take a peek. Johnson holds on again in front. Johnson up the hill. He's in the wall off turn 2. And Harvick again is going to get to the lead. It's a little tight. off the exit of the corners. 5 to go for Harvick. Harvick's trying to block now. Look at how low he's going into 3. Jimmy trying to back the corner up with the flat entry. Harvick definitely went in a little harder. Jimmy should beat him back to the gas off turn 4. He does. Harvick again with another block. Johnson's there, though. Into turn 1. Jimmy gets loose. He gets into the 29. Harvick gets the run off the high side. A block into 3. Barely clear. Three to go. Jimmy's going to have to find a way underneath him. Oh, man. And really flat up the hill he goes in turns 3 and 4. Oh, Harvick's going up the track, too. Oh, man. Both cars almost getting to the wall. Now Johnson does scrape the wall. Killing his entry into 1. Again, looks to the inside. Harvick is there to block into turn 3. Final lap this time by. Gordon is there in 3rd. Waiting for these two to make a mistake. Caution's out! Oh, caution's out before the leaders get to the white flag. Joe Nemechek has crashed again. Debris on the racetrack. It looked like Mark Martin may have ran it over. His hood comes out, and that's going to set up a green-white checkered finish. Are you kidding me? That was like inches before they got to the white flag. I hope the race doesn't end under yellow. We should have one attempt at a green-white checker. No, we do not. That's going to end it. Kevin Harvick is your winner at Dover. The Truck Series is the only series that gets a green-white checker finish. And that debris caution from Joe Nemechek is going to end the race. Kevin Harvick wins it. Johnson a lap shy of trying to see if he could have gotten back around him. No cautions come out on the final lap in this game, so if they would have gotten to the white flag, they would have had to race through the debris on the backstretch, which would have probably been, we would have had an Indianapolis 2021 with the curb braking kind of situation there down the back straightaway. That would have been a wild way to end this one, but kind of an anticlimactic finish under the yellow, but Kevin Harvick is going to win at Dover. Man. I don't know if Jimmy could have gotten back around him. Harvick was throwing some pretty meaty blocks going into the corners there those last few laps, getting to the lead, but the caution does end the race. I was thinking we might have gotten a green-white checker because I thought in 2004 was the first year they had at least one attempt, but maybe this game for the Cup Series doesn't have it. I know the Truck Series in this game has it, and they had it before in the Truck Series, because we have had a green-white checker in the Truck Series in this game, but man, that was tough. What number are you driving the race car? The 48, Jimmy Johnson. Santiago Kid. So we'll take a look at the finishing results, see where all the chase drivers were at, and then we'll check the point standings after this race. But Kevin Harvick gets the win, leading just 11 laps, all in the final 30 laps of tonight's race. Johnson leads 209 laps, but comes up a close second-place finish after starting from the tail. Jeff Gordon leads 86 laps of his own after starting on the pole, finishes third. Casey Kane, the rookie, finishes fourth. Didn't lead a lap. Tony Stewart rounds out the top 5. Also didn't lead a lap. Bobby Labonte fell back to 6th there late. He led 2 laps in the closing stages. Ryan Newman led 92 laps. He fell backwards off that last restart, getting to the lead a couple laps after the fact, but he wasn't really a factor at the end, despite the fact it looked like he may have played the fuel strategy out if it wasn't for that second caution back with 60 to go. Dale Jarrett finishes 8th. 9th place was Michael Waltrip, first car a lap down, and Jamie McMurray rounds out the top 10. And we'll check out the finishing order to this race. As far as the DNFs go, Johnny Sauter, Reynolds, we saw Matt Kenseth blow an engine. Kurt Busch blew an engine. So that's 2 chase drivers that blew an engine, both for Roush Fenway. And those were the only 4 drivers who failed to make it to the end. 3 cautions total for 8 caution laps. Again, this race ended under the yellow. Nemechek's debris caution with 2 to go ended the race. So now we'll take a look at the point standings. Love the race car number that came in second. Yep. We've seen a lot more of that number between the end of this season and then our career mode on NASCAR 21 Ignition that will continue on as well. Whoop, nope, not going to race that right now. Yeah, we'll check the point standings. Next race at Talladega for the EA Sports 500. It'll be the 3rd race of the chase. 8 races to go to crowning the champion. Jimmy Johnson, should have the points lead still with the 2nd place finish. He's finished 1st and 2nd in the first 2 chase races, but man, oh man, that was tough. NASCAR 06 have gotcha, for the Truck Xfinity and Cup. So there it is. Very narrow points lead. Again, 190 points is the max amount of points you can score in a single race. But I mean, it is a tight points battle. It is tight, just like this finish here tonight at Dover. You have to go back to 9th place. Matt Kenseth and then Kurt Busch, who were the 2 drivers at DNF today. The other 8 drivers finished, I believe, 1 through 8. If I'm not, no, Dale Jr. did not finish in the top 10. Never mind. Outside of Dale Jr., though, I think the other 7 finished 1 through 7. Which, I mean, it is going to be tough. You cannot afford a DNF late in the season. That is going to be tough. So 45-point lead, tie for second between Gordon Harvick. The tiebreaker, I believe, goes to the most races won in the chase and not the most races won on the season. So out of technicality, Harvick would have the tiebreaker with winning that race. Gordon obviously has not won one of the first 2 chase races, but man, it is tight. 117 points separates the top 8 with 8 races to go. And then, I mean, even Kenseth and Kurt Busch aren't out of it at 205, 232 back, but they're going to need to have really solid runs going forward. A lot of cars to jump. We are racing Talladega tomorrow on the channel, but not on this game. We will have back-to-back days at Talladega on the channel. Tomorrow we go to NASCAR 21 Ignition with the career mode. We'll do a live stream there. And then the next night we'll come back to NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 at Talladega for the EA Sports 500, a continuation of our chase for the Nextel Cup. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. That is going to end this Sunday night stream. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully you enjoy your Monday for those of you going back to school or work for the week. I will be here. I will be grinding, editing that career mode race at Richmond on NASCAR 21 Ignition. That will be uploaded well before our race tomorrow night at Talladega. If for some odd reason it does not upload within a few hours of that race, we'll end up just doing the Chase for the Cup race, but likely going to end up doing NASCAR 21 Ignition tomorrow. I'm 95% certain that we will do NASCAR 21 Ignition tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your Sunday as well. Catch you next time.